Hi guys, Nick from HiFi Collective here. Today we're going to be talking to you about stepped attenuators, just to save all the confusion that sometimes arises. So stepped attenuator is a brilliant upgrade for somebody who wants to change their potentiometer. This is your potentiometer. This is an Alps. This is an Alps Black, very rare volume control. Now these aren't available. Which leads me on to why stepped attenuators are very popular. There isn't a lot of choice out there as for volume, new volume potentiometers. You've got your Alps Blue and you've got your TKDs, which we do stock. So beyond that, a stepped attenuator is a brilliant alternative. Now, certain things to consider when going for a stepped attenuator. Number one, what kind of equipment have you got? Is it a mono? Do you have mono blocks? You need mono signals to control them? Or is it stereo, one volume control? Is it stereo balanced, which is an XLR input and output? That's the first thing to consider. The second thing to consider is size. Now, usually stepped attenuators are, here's one here, a lot bigger than, you know, your potentiometer alternative. So you need to make sure there's enough room to fit. Also, as you can see, there's flying leads. So it's not going to be a drop-in replacement for somebody who's got a potentiometer on a PCB. So you're going to have flying leads popping out all over the place. So we provide all that information, the sizes on the site. The next thing you need to think about is impedance. So what is the impedance of the original device? So for example, this Alps, you can see on the back, it's 100K. So you need to go for 100K impedance. Now, we sell all the different types. So we do 10K, 20K, 25K, 50K, 100K, and 250K. So we cater for all the different impedances. So that's covered. That's the first kind of initial thing you need to think about. And then the next thing is there's three types of stepped attenuator. There's a series type, there's a shunt type, and there's a ladder type. Now they've all got their pros and all got their cons. I'm going to start talking about the series one first. And this is how the signal comes in. All stepped attenuators are effectively voltage dividers. So you can see here, this is for the series, the signal comes in here, and then there's a long chain of resistors going to earth. So as you switch through the switch, the actual contact moves along the joins of the resistors. Now the good thing about these series resistors is they have a low resistor count, so you've effectively got 23 resistors all in a line. So for one channel you're just going to use one wafer, so that one will be fine for a mono. Also, it's a constant impedance, so it's going to be 100K or whatever you want it to be all the way through the sweep. The slight downside of this one is there's solder joins, and the signal is going through all these solder joins. So the issue with solder joins is they can introduce a bit of noise. So just be aware of that. So another good thing is about the series, it's lower cost because the switch is going to be a bit smaller and you're only using one kind of line of resistors. The next one, which is probably the most popular type that we carry here, is a shunt. So same again, similar to the series, you've got one wafer per channel on the switch. The resistor count, you've basically got same number as for the series. The resistor signal, this here is a load resistor, so the signal goes through that resistor on every single step. You reference this as a series or load resistor, so if you're going for a 10k impedance, that resistor will be 10k. And then you'll switch through. As you go through, the voltage divider will bleed off the signal, and then you'll get your volume sweep. Really good, because on every single step there's only 2 resistors, so you've only got kind of 3 solder joints you're dealing with. The slight downside is the impedance does vary slightly, more so when you've got to the higher volumes, but in my opinion I never really heard any down effects of that, which is probably why this is the more popular. And then up from that you've got the ladder. So a ladder stepped attenuator is like this. So you would have 2 wafers like that per channel. So you effectively have a voltage divider with 2 unique resistors per step. As you click through, you're basically bleeding off the signal that you don't want and taking the signal that you do want. So you just click through tick, 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 all the way through. So great thing about the ladder one is the impedance is constant all the way through. There's fewer solder joins than the series. Downside is it's more expensive, and it takes up more room because you have more wafers per channel. But sonically, I would say the ladder is a really good choice if you can do it, if you can fit it. All right, so on this matter, you have other things to think about. How many steps do you want? So with more steps, you'll have more control over your volume. So for example, we have one here. This is an Elmer 47 switch. This is in fact a ladder one. Now this has 47 clicks, so you're controlling it by, through there. So this will give you a lot of control as you go through the sweep. As opposed to one like this. Now this is a side-end switch and has 23 positions. Now we sell by far a lot more of 23 and 24 position switches for our steps than any of the others. Mostly down to cost, I would say, but we have never had anybody say, oh, I can't, there's not enough control on this volume. There's 2 dB kind of steps between each one, which is plenty. So most people would go for a 23 step. So just to finish off the talk about resistors, you can see with this one, so this is an Elmer switch, all the contacts are enclosed there, yeah? It's also the same with the Sidon 23 position range. You can see there's a plastic case in there, so all the contacts are enclosed. But these, like the Bloor Edwards, or in fact the NOS audio notes, the contacts are exposed to air, so you can get a bit of noise. You might need to clean it every now and then. It's no big problem, to be honest. You can just give it a wipe and it's done. Always a good idea. So if it's a closed boxed passive preamp, that'll just get rid of all the dust anyway, because it won't let anything in. It'll be sealed. And then this one was a big Sidon. Again, this has the contacts. You can see. Can you see the contacts there? As you click round, the contacts happening in front of you. So that's exposed to air, but it's no big shakes. Cool. So you've now got your switch decided, hopefully. What resistors do you use? So start at the basic one is the PRP metal films. They are the lower cost. They give you a good detailed sound. Then you can go up to the Tapman metal films, and then from there You can step it up to the audio note. I mean, there's quite a few different ranges on those. If you like your sound a bit more smooth and natural sounding, then you'll go for a carbon film. So we now have a new range of resistors, carbon films, the AMRTs, which we've incorporated in this switch. So they're a good alternative. You've obviously got your Tapman carbon films. The one issue slightly with Tapman carbon films and metal films is they haven't actually made any for about 4 or 5 years. They're having some issues with their production, so we're waiting for them to get that sorted. They do say they will, but you know, there are other alternatives out there. And on the talk of resistors, earlier I was chatting about the shunt version, which is here. This is the shunt version. Now, as I said, all the signal passes through the series load resistor. Now, what some people do is they go to town on this resistor, so they'll buy a really high quality one, kind of like one of the Audio Note Silvers or a Charcroft 0.4% Z foil, sorry. So, because that is everything passes through that, so you're going to hear it on every single step. So that's something else to consider. And that is about it, really. We've got lots of kind of videos that you could reference on how to build them. But if you need any help, you can just get in contact, send us an email, and we'll be happy to help. Just before I sign off, I want to say a big thank you for watching our videos. Like and subscribe, and follow us on all the social network platforms. See you later.